Howdy folks, for today's video I wanted to do a video response to Jamie's video, JH586, the channel name is JH586. He did a video where I guess he was tagged by someone else, and the topic was 6 guns that you would like never get rid of and that I guess you can live without or whatever. And so I wanted to, and he tagged like everybody in the Reloaders network, which I was kind of grateful for because I always like talking about favorite guns. I wanted to share my 6 guns that they're kind of like my favorites, or they have some other intrinsic value which make them important to me, or they have some other intrinsic type value like a family gun or something. And I want to tell you which 6 guns I picked and why. So we'll start off, I kind of did 3 handguns and then 3 long guns, or one of them isn't quite a long gun, but I'll explain it later. Alright, so we'll go with the handguns first, and we'll go from smallest to biggest. And so the first one I picked, it's this old H&R 923 revolver. Now this thing is not a good shooter. It's loud as heck, and well, as far as I remember it, but this revolver belonged to my grandpa, and I inherited this revolver from him when he passed away. And so to me, this is a great reminder of him, and he was a really hard worker and a great, awesome guy. And for many of you know me as kind of a tinker and stuff like that, and always building things and tinkering with gadgets, gizmos, tools, whatever. My grandpa was the same way. He was awesome. One day I walked to school, and then when I was walking back, he was in the shop in the morning when I left, and then when I got back, there was a new trailer that he had built with his torch, his welder, and everything. He had taken all this like scrap metal and built a complete trailer, and I was like thoroughly amazed. So that's the kind of guy my grandpa was, and he owned this, and I got this from him. So I will probably never get rid of this until it's time to pass it on to my own son or daughter. So anyways, little double action 9-shot revolver. It's a cool little revolver. Now second, this one was kind of a cool pawn shop find. This one was my CZ97B, and for those of you who have shot CZs, they're heavier guns. Well, the ones that are made out of all metal, like the 97s, the 75s. And anyways, this one, I found it at a pawn shop, and it had the barrel bushing was kind of chipped in one spot, and it had no magazine. And I ended up getting this gun from the pawn shop guy for about $340 or so, and I just called up CZ and had him and ordered a new barrel bushing, and ordered a bunch of mags. And this thing is the smoothest like 45 auto that I have. I mean, smoother than my 1911s, smoother, well, of course it's smoother than the Glocks, but anyways, this gun is just butter smooth, and the fact that I got it for such a good deal is just, it's like a cherry on top. But this gun is freaking amazing. I love shooting it. I think I shot it in my Taco Apocalypse video, and just when I want to shoot a 45 that doesn't have a lot of recoil and shoots super smooth, I pick up the CZ. So the third handgun that I wanted to share, and this is probably obvious to my longtime viewers, but it is my 500 mag revolver. And for those of you who are newer to the channel, you probably don't know that I pretty much wore this out, or I wore some pieces out, and so I had to send it to Smith & Wesson to get it fixed. I had over, I don't know, probably over 1,500 rounds through it. It's a lot of people buy these and then they don't shoot them very much, but in the past I've shot it like a ton, like almost every time I go shooting, and I put a lot of rounds through it. I have a buddy, Joe, who has one almost identical to mine, and he, well, when he goes shooting with me, we have 500 mag duels, and where we'll have a bunch of milk jugs out there, and we'll set up an odd number, and then we'll race to go from the outside in, and whoever hits the middle one first wins. We'll do that kind of stuff, and anyways, lots of fun. And so this thing, I mean, it's one big chunk of metal, but it's also got a very smooth double action trigger pull, and quite surprising for something that's so big and bulky. But yeah, I love my 500 mag revolver, and I don't think I'd ever get rid of it. Maybe when I get really old and I can't shoot it anymore, but I probably just cast up some light loads, or cast up some bullets and do some light loads and keep shooting this thing. So I probably need to clean it too by the looks of it. But anyways, 500 mag, we'll never get rid of this one. Now we're on to the long guns, and I guess this first one doesn't quite count as a long gun because it is a short barreled rifle. This is one that I paid the $200 tax stamp and got it, the tax stamp approved for it to get it turned into a short barreled rifle. And what that means is that you can have a barrel shorter than 16 inches with a rifle stock. And so this thing, this is a 9mm AR-15. It is awesome. I have put thousands of rounds through this thing. It's super quiet. It's been really reliable. You can probably see how, I don't know if you can see, but it is like super dirty, and it still works. Part of the dirtiness is caused by the suppressor, and this suppressor is a crappy one I got from, it's made by Huntertown Arms. It was their AK suppressor, and it was really noisy on my AK, and so I ended up repurposing it. I measured the baffles and the diameter of the baffle holes, and it was bored out to 0.40, and so I decided this would make a perfect 9mm suppressor. Well, integrally suppressed almost. So I just leave it attached. It's dedicated to this gun, and the lower was made by Lone Wolf, and it takes Glock mags. I think Lone Wolf was one of the first manufacturers to build a Glock magazine compatible lower for the 9mm ARs, and the upper is a modified Rock River upper. And of course this was all purchased and whatnot like years and years ago, before Rock River fell from grace in the gun community. So anyways, this thing, it's a great beginner gun. When I take new shooters shooting, like women, or, well, women, men, and kids, they all love it. I have a little Spark 2 on there, and it's very accurate and very dirty. I need to clean it. But yeah, anyways, never get rid of this. And besides the tax stamp on it, oh, can't really sell those or get rid of those very easily. So all right, now the next one is a long gun, but it's still kind of short for a long gun. And the one I picked for this, the guys I shoot with, it's not a surprise to them, but this one is my Rossi 92, It's a 16-inch barrel. It's nice and short. I've upgraded it with the Skinner peep sight, and I just took out the little plastic insert to make it more of a ghost ring type sight. But it's really fast and smooth. And I got this from Gunny's years and years ago, back when they were selling for about 400 bucks. And so I bought this. And a funny story about this is my wife really liked this gun. And so for one of our anniversaries, I told her I was going to get her a new gun and asked her what she wanted, and she told me she wanted this one. And I told her she couldn't have mine, but that I'd get her one that was very similar. So I ended up buying a 16-inch one used and I set it up exactly the same as mine with that Skinner sight and the little leather piece right there, and slicked it up a little bit. But anyways, now that we have two in our family, it's really fun to get some. They're a little bit more than cowboy loads, but we do duels on our dueling tree with we have dueling 45s basically. And this gun, yeah, this is another one that I'd never ever want to part with, because it's just so much fun. And like the others, I've put many rounds through this, probably thousands of rounds through this lever gun, and it's very smooth, and it's just so dang fun to shoot. All right, now last but not least, we have a truly long rifle, and this one is, now I don't really know the exact model of it because I bought it from Classic Firearms and they had it listed as a K1911 long rifle. And I've had people tell me that it's, you know, this or that or this or that, but I just know it as the K1911 long rifle, and that's what I tell people what it is, because that's what I bought it as. But this one is a Swiss rifle, and it was the predecessor to the K31. And although I really do like my K31, I really like this even more. And I don't know if it's because of the really long barrel, but anyways, I'll show the whole thing. It's got a really long barrel, but this rifle, I've taken it out to about 600 yards.
Yeah!
Yeah! Nice!
And hit, you know, torso targets, and just with the iron sights. And it's a very accurate rifle, and it has a removable magazine, which I've removed so that I could show you how the action is just a straight pull. It's very smooth, and the trigger pull is actually really good too. I think it has a 2-stage trigger, and the trigger does look weird with that all that curvature, but you can feel that first stage, and then it breaks nice and clean. And for a military surplus rifle, this thing, man, it's a dang good shooter, and it has a great trigger pull, and it still looks like it's in really good condition.
Or if it just doesn't like Winchester white box.
That was a solid hit.
That was a nice.
Anyways, so that is my list of 6 guns that I would never get rid of, or have a really hard time getting rid of. Like, I'd have to be like dying or something. But these are ones I really want to pass on to my kids, and they, you know, when they're old. This one's a little harder to shoot for my kids at the age that they are right now. So when they get a little bit older, then they can shoot this. And the 500 mag will have to wait till they're quite a bit older also before they can handle that one. Anyways, I'd like to thank JH586 for sharing his guns, and go ahead and check out his channel. It's just JH586, and see which guns he chose. Okay, and for this video, I'm going to tag a few guys to see if I can make them share theirs. But the first one will be Toad Lee Brown, and he also has like a bunch of military surplus rifles, so I'm curious to see what he would pick for his. And let's see, I'm going to tag Kenny from Eagle Eye Shooting also, and make him share some favorite guns of his. And let's see, and I'm going to tag Tin Man. So Tin Man, what are your 6 favorite guns? So go ahead, check out the channels that I mentioned. I'll have a link to their channels in the video description below. And you know, if you weren't tagged but you still want to share, go ahead and do a video on it and let everybody know. And if you don't have a channel but you want to share, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know like what your top favorite guns that you would never want to get rid of would be. And now I guess they don't have to necessarily be your favorites, it's just the ones that you wouldn't want to ever sell. So those could be family guns or old guns or whatever, or modern guns. So alright, leave a comment below, and talk to you later, guys.